Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Ricky V in the house. Just wanted to do a quick Facebook Live. Hope everyone's having a great day. We're excited. We got a lot of exciting things going, but I wanted to at least add some value to my Facebook network. And so what I want to do tonight is I actually want to talk about, first of all, we spent the last it's been about, the first 30 days we personally sponsored 100 people, which is crazy. I've never done that in my career. But I want to talk about a couple things. Number one, I want to talk about how you launch your business, how you go launch out there to go break a 6-figure income, to go break a 7-figure income, because what's happening over here is nothing short of amazing. And I'm going to keep this generic for all of my social media buddies. I want to make sure that I add some value. So number one, I'm going to talk about how you freaking launch. Number two, I'm going to talk about how you go out there and build a database from scratch when you have nobody to talk to, when you don't know who you're going to talk to. And number three is I'm going to talk to you about the death of a networker, okay? Now, here's the thing. To be a part of the greatest year, the greatest decade, right? It's 2020. We're going to do some great things here. So the first thing, guys, is how you launch a company. How does Ricky V launch a company? How does Ricky V launch an organization? How do we build fast? How do we make things happen? I'm going to tell you one thing right now, guys. Every single person has a different style of how to go out there and launch a big company. I'm going to share with you my style. Pick up what you want. I don't care what you don't like or what you do like. Keep it for yourself, and what works for you is fine. But the first thing in terms of how you go out there and launch a massive company, how you go out there and launch a big business, how you go out there and launch an organization, I go through 3 different phases, okay? And if you want to know these 3 different phases of how to go out there and build a big company, build an organization, how to launch strategically, drop a 3 in the comments below. Drop a 3 in the comments below if you want to know how to go out there and build a team of over 1,000 people in less than 60 days. Drop a 3 in the comments below if you want to know how to launch a company, okay? This is real stuff. This is real network marketing stuff. This is not, hey, figure out how to do a nice little filter on your picture, right? All that stuff is fine, but I'm going to give you the real, nuts and whatever, the real nuggets, right? So number one is this: how do I launch? I have my first phase. My first phase of how to go out there and build a bit, or how to launch my business, is I go through a warm-up phase, okay? What is a warm-up phase for me? I go through a warm-up phase by basically saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to spend 3 days, and for 3 days, I'm going to personally reach out to 300 to 400 people. Okay, write that down. For 3 days, it's called the warm-up phase. And this is where you can really get 90% of a launch strategy done. Because we sponsored 100 people our first 30 days. If you want to know how to at least sponsor 20 people in your first 30 days, or even 10 people in your first 30 days, here's what you're going to do, okay? You're going to go through a warm-up phase, okay? And a warm-up phase is where you spend 3 days reaching out to 300 to 400 people, 300 to 400 people. And here's what you're going to say. This is all you're going to say. Hey, Bob. Hey, Sue. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, whoever. Hey, listen, I'm about to do something. I came across something. I don't want to send you the information right now. It's not ready yet. But when it's ready, would you like this information that I'm putting together? Like, hey, I'm about to do something. I'm not going to share any information yet, okay? But when I have all this information ready, would you want me to send it to you? And why do I do a warm-up phase? I do a warm-up phase because, number one, people want to be a part of something that has not happened yet. People want to be a part of something that's about to happen. People want to be a part of like the before it goes on viral on social media, right? So what I like to do is I like to create excitement. I like to create urgency. So I spend 3 days talking to 300 to 400 people very fast. Okay, we have Facebook Messenger now. So this means that I'm not actually calling people and having all these conversations, because that take too long. Time is too much of the essence. We got too much value going on. So you can't spend all your time just having 40-minute conversations with one person. So I do a blitz. And this blitz is literally 300 to 400 people. Spend 3 days saying, hey, you know what? I'm about to do something big. I've been working on something. And if I pull it off, it's going to be massive. I don't want to send you any information yet, but over the next few days, I'll put it all together. When I have that ready, do you want me to send it to you? Okay. The second reason why I do that, you all, is because I'm the kind of guy that I only want to talk to people that want to talk to me. I don't beg people to join my business. I don't chase people to join my business. I learned a long time ago that the faster you move on without people, the more they're chasing you, right? Because you realize that a dog never barks at a parked car. It barks at things that are moving, things that are at least even walking. And so what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm actually reaching out to people and going to share information because they told me they wanted that information. Does that make sense? right? If that makes sense, drop an emoji in the comments below. Make sure you get this valuable content out to people. But that's how I launched. So three phases. Phase number one, the warm-up phase. Now, let me tell you something, guys, because this is the most undervalued, the most underutilized process when you launch a business, okay? And that is that first initial warm-up phase. You only get that one time in your career. You only get that one time in your network marketing company where you can say, hey, I haven't launched yet. I'm about to launch. We're about to do something massive. If I pull this off, it'll be the biggest thing I've ever done, but I don't have any information yet. I'm putting it all together. When it's all ready, do you want me to send this information your way? And as soon as people start replying, yes, 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 no, 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 whatever, I'm putting all the names down that say yes in a notebook. That's a tip right there. Make sure you're tracking your business. No one's in charge of tracking your business but yourself, right? So I write down in a notebook the people that said yes, okay? Now, if you blitz 300 to 400 people, chances are you're going to have about 250 people that legit want to take a look at that information. 250 people, okay? Most people don't even talk to 250 people about their opportunity in 3 or 4 years. So think about having a 3-day warm-up phase when you're telling someone, we're about to do something. And if we pull this off, it's going to be massive. And you compile a list of like 250 people that say, yes, I want information. Phase 1. Phase 2 is when you have the information ready and you reach out to those 250 people. And what you say to those 250 people is very simple. Listen, remember the information I told you about? I finally got it together. It's going to be massive. Let me know if you still want to send it. Let me know if you still want me to send it to you. Again, I'm going to go back to those 250 people that said yes again, yes once, but I want them to say yes again because I only talk to people that want to talk to me, right? So I go to those 250 people and I say, hey, listen, I got that information ready, okay? Do you still want me to send it to you? And I send a quick voice message on Facebook. So these aren't long conversations on the phone, right? And let's say out of those 250 people, now only 200 came back to me and said, yeah, send me that information. Guys, what's going to happen is this. You start sending that information to 200 people that start viewing it and you start following up with them, you're going to sponsor at least 10 to 15. Period. End of story. No discussion. If you're doing this correctly, it's happening. What's the third phase? The third phase is you've already exposed a total of like 300 people. So your third phase is when you spend another 3 days blitzing. And in those 3 days when you're blitzing, here's what you say. You say, oh my gosh, I spent the last 3 days talking to over 300 people that are excited about what we're doing here. I've experienced a product, whatever it is, or I've experienced a company and it's blowing me away. I have some information I've put together here. Would you like some information before I go out and talk to more people, right? And you go through another blitz of 300 people. And now in your first 7 days, you have completely exposed about 600 people to your business. And if you start following up with them in a 30-day window, you're going to at least sponsor, I don't know, it could be 20 people, it could be 30 people, it could be 50 people. For me, it was 100 people. And that was, I mean, it's all good, right? It doesn't matter. The number's not really relevant, but here is what is relevant. What is relevant is that you get into action because you can have the best sauce in the industry. And if you're not out there pouring it over people, nothing ever happens. Okay, if that makes sense to you, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you're sharing this. I want it out. I'm keeping it generic, so I'm not dropping any product names, any company names. But okay, number one is launch. Number 2 is database. Okay, who would like to learn how to build a database from scratch? What a database means is how many of you would like to know how to have a long list of people that you can talk to about your business? More importantly, who would like to know how to build a database from scratch? And who would like to know how to continue to grow that database? Guys, I'm going 10 years in the game right now. And one thing that I've done is I've always been teachable. I've always been coachable because I've always had the burning desire, right? And so what I've always done is I've always done what the giants in this industry have mentored me and told me to do. And one of those things is building a database. You know, you hear all the time, hey, make a list of 100 people. Well, here's the thing. If all you ever do is make a list of 100 people, it honestly might not lead you anywhere. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But here is what I'll tell you. Last year, probably So check this out, guys. I'll keep it real. So last year was a very difficult year. Not so much financially, but it was more of I felt lost, right? I wasn't in network marketing anymore. I took a year off wondering what I was going to do with my life, right? I dropped out of college for network marketing, right? I quit my job for network marketing. So it became a huge part of my identity, right? And so what happened was when I decided to leave the industry, take some time off and dip into different industries out there, like the solar industry, the tech industry, the media industry, nothing felt right, but I still couldn't find a company that I felt excited about. Well, I did find one, right? And the point is that one thing I didn't stop doing was I didn't stop building a database, right? They say that you want to build your ark before it rains. You ever know those kind of people that only want to reach out to you when they join a new MLM? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know those people that just say hi when it's like, hey, what's up? How are you? By the way, I got a new MLM, right? So it's like, I never wanted to be that kind of person. I wanted to be the kind of person that was always remaining friends with everybody. More importantly, I wanted to make sure that I continued to grow a list, continue to build a database. So let me tell you what I did last year. So last year, from January to the end of December, I built a database of like 1,020 people. I can show you right here. It's in front of my screen. Over 1,000 people. And this is honestly what made me want to get on a Facebook Live was like, let me teach people how to build a real database. Because I know in this day and age, we talk a lot about attraction marketing, and that's all good. It's fine, whatever. I wasn't built like that. I was the guy that said, hey, you got to get good at sales. You got to get good at marketing, and you got to get good at finding people to share the stuff with. So I built a database of over 1,000 people from scratch last year, and it was very simple. But here's the reason why it happened. When I was 20 years old, so 10 years ago, when I got started in the industry, guys, I was broke. I didn't have a car. I dropped out of college, and I'd quit my job. So credibility was completely it was non-existent. Like I couldn't call someone and say, hey, I just found a business, we're going to get rich, because their reply was going to be like, bro, didn't you just drop out of college and quit your job and you don't even have a car? How in the heck are we going to get rich in this thing you're telling me about, right? So I didn't have any credibility. But around that time was when Facebook started to get popular. And what I realized was that on Facebook, I could become anyone I wanted to because there was endless amounts of people to talk to. So I started to friend request random people that I'd never met. That led me to the point when I was 24 years old, I had a team of 20,000 distributors in 17 different countries. I've never been given a leg. I've never had spillover. I've never been given a customer. This was all from scratch. I say that humbly, but I also say it proudly because it takes a lot to do that from scratch, right? And at that age. So what I did last year to build a database was very simple. And this is how stupid simple it is. And people sometimes don't get it. And that's why sometimes you hear me so passionate, but it's like, if you realize how easy it was, like it's nonsense, right? So here's what I did. It comes down to one sentence. I friend requested about 5 new people every single day. That's all I did. I friend requested 5 new people. Now keep this in mind. Just because you added 1,000 people to your friends list on Facebook doesn't mean that you have 1,000 people in your database. What I mean by having 1,000 people on my database is that I would, like those 1,000 people, which by the way, I've only gotten to about 300, so I still have a lot of people to talk to. But out of those 1,000 people, guys, they're people that I know, and there are people that know. There are people that know me. More importantly, there are people that if I called, I wouldn't have to come up with some fancy invite. I could just say, hey man, do me a favor, take a look at what I'm doing now. Like just take a look, right? Like sometimes people think the sauce is in the invite. It's not really the invite, but it's like how deep is that relationship, right? Now keep in mind, I also don't spend hours building relationships, okay? I have enough relationships. I have my wife and kids, and so I'm good on relationships. I have my friends, my teams, like I'm good on relationships, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is that what I did was I friend requested 5 new people every single day. Okay, so that amounts to about 1,500. Doesn't mean that everyone accepts your friend request. I just friend requested 5 new people a day. Here's what I did though. I have a notebook. I wish I had it here. It's somewhere upstairs, somewhere in my office. I don't know, but I have a notebook. And in that notebook, every single time someone accepted my friend request, I put their name. So it started with one person, right? January 1st, friend requested 5 people, whoever accepted it, I wrote down their names. And what I did was I would reach out to them when they accepted my friend request, and I would say, hey, my name is Ricky V. I just like to get to know people. I saw your profile, I liked it. What's up? And I just started saying what's up to people, okay? And what I'd do is every 30 days, I'd look back at my database and I'd spend about 2 hours just going back to each name and sending them a quick message. Hey, what's up? How are you? Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's happening in your world? Yada, yada, yada. And over the last 12 months, I built a database of 1,000 people just by friend requesting 5 people a day. Here's the second thing I did, guys. And this is something that's so crucial because it's all, you know what they say when you have kids, they say, it's not the quality, or it's not the quantity of time that you spend with your kids. It's the quantity or the quality. Now, for me, it's both. I like quantity and quality with my kids. But when you're building relationships, what you do for other people is not so much the amount of time you spend with them. Okay? I need you to hear me on this because so many people spend like hours having like conversations that get you nowhere. Like, hey, so what's the name of your dog? Oh, I like that kind of dog. My neighbor Susie 2 weeks ago was walking around my neighborhood with the dog. Like, what's the weather where you're at? Oh, the weather over here is cold. And you go through these crazy conversations that doesn't mean you're building a relationship. So quality is important. How did I raise my level of quality when building a database? I did stupid things, guys. I did things like, for example, I would go and just record like a quick 7-8 second video, and I'd make it generic. And I tell people, hey, if you get this from me, it's generic, but it's because I'm thinking about you, but I still wanted you to have it anyways because I was thinking about you, right? So what I'd do is I'd record a little video, whether it was like a funny filter, you know, those funny filters that make your face like this fat or whatever, or make your eyes like sag. You know, those funny filters. I could do a video like that, or I'd do some kind of whatever video I wanted to. I'd keep it to 10 seconds or less, just saying, hey, what's up? I especially did this when I was traveling. I'd be like, hey, what's going on? I'm in Vegas. I was thinking of you, just wanted to say what's up. It's crazy hot out here. What's happening in your side of the world, right? And I would send that. I would send that video. I would just go to my messenger chat and see who was active. I'd send it to 600-700 people over the next 24 hours. So people like know my face. People know me. People will always be like, dude, you're so good at following up, or you're so good at keeping in touch with people. How do you do it? You have a family, you have a business. How do you do it? Dude, I'm smart. I do little things that just mean more to people, right? So that's how I started to build a database. I started to warm up the database so much so that now, a year later, boom, over 1,000 people in my database. But guess what? I don't stop. Just this year alone, from January 1st to February 5th or whatever, I've probably grown another 300 people on my database. So that's the powerful part behind growing a database, guys, is that it can be done fast. Like I could promise you, you could give me your Facebook profile and like in 60 days, you've sponsored like 40, 50 people. And it's not because, and so that proves that it's not so much how the person looks. It's more of like, what are you doing behind the scenes, right? So that's what I pride myself on, okay? So that's how you build a database, right? So the third thing I'll tell you guys is, I want to talk a little bit about the death of a networker. And by the way, my phone might die, so whatever, if it does, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it saves. I don't know. I don't see a charger around. But here's the death of a networker, guys. And there was a gentleman. By the way, there's a millionaire booklet coming out in a couple weeks from now. It's a network marketing MLM booklet. And they're thinking that it's going to become like the Think and Grow Rich for the industry. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to purchase like 500 copies and send it to all my team members, right? But it's like one of the guy that wrote the book, he mentored me a lot over the last couple years. And he took a company from $0 to $1 billion a year, and he's well known in the industry. He's now just not so much a coach, just more of like a trainer, supporter, and knows how to really build a big business, right? So I sat down with him 2 years ago, and we started going through some of these concepts, right? And go grab a charger, they said. Sheesh. Anyways, the death of a networker, guys, very simple, okay? Because here's the thing. And this happens a lot to those that actually go full-time in network marketing. Because let me tell you guys, what happened one time in my career was that I got to a $5,000 a week income while I had a full-time job. And what was funny was that I was so busy that I would literally like be in my cubicle at work, and all of a sudden I'd see a call coming in, so I have to run out to the hallway and do a three-way call, and I'd come back in, and it took me 90 days, but I built an income of $5,000 a week. And what I learned through that process was, when you're busy, you learn how to utilize your moments. And so sometimes when people go full-time in network marketing, like one day my daughter was like, Dad, can you stay home and have a tea party with me? Because I just don't want you to go to work. She was probably like 2 years old. I picked up my phone. I fired my boss that day, right? I didn't have to. I just chose to because I didn't need the job anymore. The income was fine through network marketing. I just had it because I got addicted to having 2 paychecks a week. So when I quit my job and I went full-time in network marketing, I learned how to when I quit my job and I was home now, I actually worked my business a little bit less. Like I was more in tune when I had a job because I had to be very selective with my moments throughout the day. Does that make sense? Like I had to be very cautious of where my time was going, all right? And so the death of a networker, what I figured out was what my mentor taught me, which was when you quit your job or when you're full-time in a business, and even if you're not, because this applies to those that want to go full-time, because that's the thing is sometimes those people that want to go full-time, they're saying, hey, but I already have a full-time job. How am I going to build this company full-time, right? How am I going to go full-time? So my whole thought is like the death of a networker is understanding that what's really important is that whether you quit your job or whatever, that when you join a business, when you join a network marketing company, now you have to employ yourself. Okay, what that means is this. Your boss at your job tells you that you have to be there from 9 to 5. Okay, so if you wake up today and you say, I'm tired, I don't want to go to work, and you don't go to work, your boss is going to be like, dude, where are you at? Day 2, you're like, I'm not going to go in either. I'm just going to stay a second day. Your boss fires you, right? And then we wonder why, when we're going after our dreams and we skip a week or we skip 3 days, and then we wonder like, geez, I wonder why it's not happening for me. Well, bro, you're not doing what you got to do, right? And I like to bring it to you raw because this is not like a video for the masses. It's more for like leaders, right? Like leadership. If you're not a leader, it's probably not for you. But I look at it like if you join a network marketing company, now you want to employ yourself, meaning write down what you expect from you and hold yourself accountable. Like your 2 personalities. You're the boss because you join. This is your company. This is your network marketing company. But also employ yourself with the daily activities that you're going to do. If it's talk to 5 people a day, friend request 3 people a day, follow up with 2 people a day, read 10 pages of a good book every single day, then you have to commit to that every single day. And you cannot go to sleep until it's done. Like you can't give yourself, like you can't be at your job and say, hey, today I'm not going to work 9 to 5. I'm going to be like 9 to 12. Like I don't want to be here all day, so I'm going to leave at lunchtime. Like you can't do that. Like you got to be there all day because otherwise the alternative is you get fired, you don't get paid, you don't pay your bills, you end up broke, you don't got nothing. So what I'm saying is like when you're building a company is like you have to be consistent every day. It's not about the like, who cares if you talk to 100 people in one day? Like if you didn't keep talking to 2 or 3 people every single day, nothing happened. You feel me? Like do you guys get that? Drop in the comments if you feel me and share this live if you're getting value from it. Let me know if you're getting lives. So guys, give me some hearts, some likes. I'm excited about what we're doing, and what I'm teaching you guys is like 10-year stuff. Like I'm giving it to you in a simple way. This took me 10 years to figure out. That's the crazy part is like I learned from just going on a YouTube and looking up networkers and watching videos and sending them messages on Facebook, pestering people. But I was always the guy that I was never going to sit at home waiting for the information to come. I was always seeking it. And so the death of a networker, the day your business dies, is the day that you're done giving yourself accountability. It's the day where you're like, hey, you know what? Like I feel like skipping today, tomorrow goes by, next thing you know, 4 months goes by, right? So that's how crazy it is, right? That's the death of a networker, guys. And so as I put my last 10 years of experience into this new company that we've started, it's like, wow, no wonder we're getting the results because now I'm actually applying all this information. And so I'll tell you what, guys, it's like, you know, Brian Tracy has a book called Eat That Frog. Can you guys wait? Is it okay if I go get my charger? If it's okay if I go get my charger, let me know. I'll go get it real quick and I'll plug it in and we'll keep going. But it's like Brian Tracy has this book called Eat a Frog, or How to Eat a Frog, right? And the basis of that book is basically how to do goal setting, how to. Oh, thank you. Oh, I got a phone. Thanks, baby. My wifey brought in a phone charger. Hold on real quick. Yes, maybe. Hold on. Okay. All right, hold on, guys. Hold on, let's see if this works. Shoot, okay. There we go. I think we're good, right? Trust. Well, I think we're good. Oh, hold on a sec, guys. There's an easier way. My wife just brought me in an extension cord because I'm in a weird part. So, hold on. So the death of a network. So basically, there's this thing called, How to Eat That Frog, and it's basically, do the hardest task first. Get it out of the way, right? And what I compare that to is growing up, my mom cooks. My mom's amazing, so she cooks. But of course, there's certain meals that we eat that we don't really like, right? And I don't know why. I grew up just not liking vegetables. So when my mom would make me food and I'd look at my plate and there was chicken or whatever, and next to it there was vegetables, what I wanted to do was I wanted to eat the vegetables as fast as possible because to me it was the grossest part. So I'm like, hey, let me just eat it and let me get it out of the way so that I don't have to deal with the crappy part and I can just enjoy the good part, right? So here's what happens to most people is that they start their day doing the easy things first, procrastinating the hardest thing to do, which is reach out to 5 people, friend request 5 new people, follow up with 5 people, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. But the point is that it's and the whole day, our energy level isn't what it should be, because in the back of our mind, it's like, oh crap, I still got to get to that. So what I learned is that you have to treat your business and your days like eating a frog, like Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog. Get the gross part out of the way first. Get the hardest task out of the way first. So when you're building a to-do list, and I like to do this every night, I like to go through my list saying, hey, what do I got to get done tomorrow? Who do I got to follow up with? Who do I got to call? Then I know it's I go through it, guys. I go through the thing where it's okay, what's the hardest thing? Put a 1 next to it. The next hardest thing. And I go through the list and we knock it out, right? And that's what I've focused on throughout these last little bit, is just figuring out, okay, if your death of your dreams comes the day you stop holding yourself accountable, if you're not writing down a to-do list, if you're not getting after it every single day, if you're not getting the hardest part done first, chances are at the end of the day, your energy is just so drained that you're not going to do it anyways. And you stack it on to the next day and then the next day and the next day. And after 7 days, it stacks so much that you end up just leaving, right? You end up, you don't do it anymore. So anyways, guys, we're excited. So that's how you go launch a business. That's how you build a big database and all that stuff. If anyone has any questions, we can turn this into a fun Q&A. I can see the comments now, and I'd love to wrap it up with a few Q&As if anyone has any questions on whatever it is that has to do with network marketing or personal development. I love mindset stuff because it changed my life, so I can go into mindset. But if anyone has any questions, just put a comment below. I'd love to answer any Q&As before we wrap this up. I saw my man Jeff Weisberg just hop on. What's up, Natalie, Clarissa, Tara, Melissa, Juliana, Wifey's on. A lot of people are on, but Veronica is like, hey, so glad you got the charger. Yeah, thank goodness, right? So where's the charger where you need one? But anyways, guys, that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. But I've just spent my entire life understanding that you can't move without people. You have to have the right people, right? And so as you move into your business, one thing that I challenge, how did you become a legend? Jeff Weisberg says, how did I become a legend? Guys, I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know. I drank a lot of Verve. I don't know. Anyways, so I remember I'll wrap up with this. Someone just asked how do you follow up, but I'll share this with you guys. Okay, 80% of the work is going to be, or I would say 90% of the work is going to be your mindset, okay? And I believe that, because when I was 20 years old, so most of you guys, I think all of you on this live have actually made more money than I ever made my first 2 years of network marketing. Like, I was the worst networker the first 2 years, right? And so when I was 22 years old, I met a couple of guys. So Meg said, what's the one thing you learned in 10 years you wish you knew at the beginning? I'm teaching you this right now, actually. But, and where do you, so I remember 2 years, I was broke. I hadn't made much money. And I was 22 years old, and I met some guys. I was watching YouTube videos about two gentlemen, and I Facebooked them, I messaged them, and I said, hey, if you guys mentor me, I'll do whatever you guys want. I'll like, just tell me what you need for me to go out there and have success. So what ended up happening was they took me under their wing, right? And we started working together. And what happened was, like, the first month of working together, it was really frustrating. And here's why it was frustrating. It was frustrating because they didn't teach me any strategy. Like, I was like, okay, tell me what to do, tell me what to say, tell me where to go, tell me what, like, tell me the how. The how. Well, what I learned was that the problem is that I was messed up in the head. Right? Not that I was messed up in the head, but we all have certain paradigms. One of my paradigms was, I grew up people telling me I was quiet. So if you hang out with me, I have to have someone there with me that's like very outgoing and enthusiastic, because otherwise, like, I shut down, because I'm not good at that. So like, my wife is very outgoing. I'm not. My business partner is very outgoing. I'm not. I'd rather just be behind the screen at home hanging out, right? So, but it's because I grew up people telling me that I was quiet, right? I remember someone giving me an article one time that said, quiet kids end up becoming troublemakers in their teen years. What happened? When I turned 13, from ages 13 to 19, I got into a whole bunch of trouble. And somehow it went away when I was 20. So think about like that, right? Like, we start to believe our own stories. So what ended up happening was, when I got into network marketing, I had this paradigm. I had this image of myself being quiet, this image of myself of being a college dropout, not being that worthy, or not having money, or being broke, or not having a girlfriend, like, because I didn't have those things at the time. So it was like, so my self-image was horrible. So my first 30 days of being mentored by this guy when I was 22 years old was, write a new story about yourself. And you need to obsess about it. Like, every morning, you need to read that story, and you need to visualize it for about 30 minutes. You need to do the same thing in the afternoon, and you do the same thing at night. He's like, the amount of time that you do it is going to determine how fast your business begins to grow. So think about that. Like, it was really frustrating because I was broke, but I was ready to get into action. But I was saying, hey, before you get into action, we got to get this stuff first. So I started working on that. My confidence level started to grow. When it was time to take action, 60 days after that, I had a team of 3,000 people on my team, like, from scratch. How did it happen? My confidence level grew, my self-image grew, my posture was different, like, I felt differently about myself. And so what did I do is I started picking up the phone, calling people that I used to be scared of talking to. I'd say, hey, I got this thing happening, I need you to listen to me. Like, it wasn't like, hey, if I would you watch this for 5 minutes and get back to me and give me your opinion. It was more of like, I got something. I don't care if you're interested or not. If you're not interested, that's fine, but tell me after you see the information. Here you go. Like, I was very, very blunt in my approach, very aggressive. So this lady was like, I watched the information. I don't like it. I'm not interested. She's like, but I have a guy in Korea. Are you guys open in Korea? And I was like, sure, let's get on the phone with him. Well, this guy ended up building me a team of like 6,000 people in Korea. Hands down. I was able to travel to South Korea. I remember walking into a room and all these Koreans were like there, and I was like training them. I was like, this is weird, because I was this 24-year-old kid now and doing, like, it was weird, right? And what ended up happening was, shortly after that, I started getting messages from people. Like, think about like the difference in, I wasn't even reaching out to many people anymore. They were reaching out to me. So I got this message from this lady on LinkedIn, and she was from Mexico, and she kept messaging me. I told my wife one day, I'm like, gosh, this lady's annoying. She just won't stop asking me about my business, but we're not in Mexico. It doesn't matter. And she said, just call her anyway. So I called her, boom, 2,000 people in Mexico over the next 6-7 months. right? And I started getting more calls from people in Canada, China, Italy. I ended up having a team in like 17 different countries. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that like, if you want that kind of success, like most of it is not going to be in like the how-to, because the how-to is very simple, right? Like, get customers, get distributors, repeat the process, talk to people, build a list. Like the cool thing about network marketing is that you don't need to learn 20 things, right? Like you only need to master 2 or 3 things. Like even if you only master it, like you really master one thing, that might still be enough to make you rich. But the point is that if the mindset isn't right, you're going to continue to self-sabotage your own success, sabotage it over and over and over and over again. And that's what I was doing in my life, is I was sabotaging my own success because I was programmed to. I was programmed to think that I was always going to be broke. I was programmed to think that I wasn't good enough. I was programmed to think that I wasn't smart because I dropped out of college, right? I failed my art class in college, so I was like, man, I suck. I'm going to quit college, right? I was programmed to think that I'm quiet, that I couldn't talk to people. So I had to get rid of all that. I had to get rid of all that first. And you don't try to get rid of that stuff by you can, but you don't have to dissect it and stuff. What you do is you create a new story. You write it down on a piece of paper. You obsess about it. Your obsessions become your possessions. So if you start to get obsessed about it, people think always obsession is a bad word. It means that you're just, nothing else matters. No, listen, if you want to achieve something, you absolutely have to get obsessed. And obsessed is not a bad word. It's a good word. Get obsessed about the right things, though. Obsessions become your possessions. So if you're obsessing about the Netflix show that you want to watch, if you're obsessing about your negative bank account, if you're obsessing about how you don't have friends, obsessing about those things, it's what continues to bring that nonsense into your life. Guys, I remember there was $20 in my bank account. And I tell people all the time, you could call me the freaking Mac Daddy because I was so broke. All I could afford was mac and cheese for my kids. That's how crazy it got. And so, but the story, it was just there. I kept going back to it because I was used to it. So the moment I let it go by creating a new one and obsessing about it, visualizing it, walking around my house like I was that, that's when things started to change for me. So when people talk about the how to, it's like that most of the time takes care of itself if you just figure out what it is you want to become, what it is that you want to achieve, and start becoming that right now. Because the more that you want something, the more that you're telling the world that you don't have it. So when you start to become it, you say, hey, you know what? I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. Just say, start saying things like, I am so happy and grateful that I'm a millionaire. In fact, it's a thrill. I enjoy being a millionaire and going to the bank every day and looking at my bank account and seeing at least $1 million in there, right? Whatever it is that you want to say, but add words of emotion. I enjoy it. Money comes to me happily and easily. I'm a money magnet. Money just one visualization that I used to always see was, I used to see this money bag that was pouring into my bank account. And I just used to visualize money just pouring in, and floods of money. And this was when my bank account was negative. So when you read books like The Science of Getting Rich, guys, the person that has the power is the person that can look at poverty and say, there is no poverty. It's just wealth. And you start to believe wealth. You start to accept wealth. And that's when you start to create a new story about yourself, right? So anyways, last thing I'll end up with this is someone had asked me, how do you follow up with people? I'm going to teach you guys something that I think will help you. And if you stick around for another 5 minutes, I think this will give you guys a lot of value in terms of how do I invite people to look at my business, right? You launched the business, great. Now what are you saying to people every day to have them take a look at what you're doing? And how do you follow up? Because following up is also going to be 80% of your business. I remember one year I just reached out to 100 people, and out of those 100 people, 3 signed up, but I kept following up with those people every 7 days. By the end of a year, I had sponsored 67 of them. So I realized that you also didn't need to have a lot of people. You just had to be good at reaching out, and you had to be good at following up, right? By the way, Connie, Science of Getting Rich is in Spanish. Think and Grow Rich is in Spanish. You Were Born Rich is in Spanish. Those are all incredible books. But for me, like Cynthia just said, The Science of Getting Rich, you all, like, that book is like, for me, is like the holy grail of how to reprogram this, how to really go about your life and attract wealth, right? So anyways, 2 things and we'll wrap it up. How I reach out to people is the same way in terms of how I follow up with them, okay? And I want you to write this word down. This word is called update. Write that down. Put it in the comments. Put this word down in the comments. Update. Just a quick update, right? So the way I reach out to people, as I have this database of people that I'm growing, it's so simple. I just say, hey, what's up, Bob? Just wanted to give you a quick update. I started a company, launched it December 1st. We've grown to 2,000 distributors and over 5,000 customers. The product is amazing. I'm down 11 pounds. I feel better than ever. Just wanted to give you an update on what I'm doing in case you want more information about it. What are you up to? Give me an update on your ventures. I just update people, you all. Like, how easy is that? I literally just update. Hey, wanted to give you a quick update. Last week, I started experiencing this product my buddy introduced me to. I'm down 3 pounds. Just wanted to give you a quick update in case you or anyone you know are looking to lose a few pounds. What are you up to? Give me an update on what you're up to. Because people will talk to you. The people that are interested are going to talk to you. All right? So just a quick update. Hey, what's going on, man? Just wanted to give you a quick update, bro. I had my biggest week in network marketing commissions. I'm fired up. How's working at the car dealership? Update me on what's going on there. Right? Hey, just wanted to give you an update. I just got back from a cruise. I won this cruise through a company that I'm with that I started doing in my spare time, and it's been exciting because it's allowed me to bring extra cash flow for my family, and so now my kids are in piano lessons and whatever. Just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on in my life, what's going on with you, right? Do you see around Christmas time so many people are like, what's your address, what's your address, what's your address? And then everyone gets like this card of like, well, Susie got to 1st grade this year. Bob got a new job. Like that's an update, you all. You get me? So it's like, why send all those cards? I mean, come on, if you want to send cards, that's fine. But it's like, that's how you go out and build a business too. Hey, let me give you a quick update, man. My son just graduated for 6th grade, whatever. We're off to a trip to Paris paid for by a company that we just got started. And we're doing it in our spare time, and it's allowing us to pay our mortgage every month. Right, whatever, like little updates, like to invite people. As people start showing interest, the people that say no or not yet or give me some time to think about it, I never ask anyone for a no or a yes. I'm not a closer, okay? A closer is someone that says, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself? Oh, a 7? Well, how do we get you to a 10? Oh, you want to know more about the blueberries in my juice, right? It's like, no, I'm not a closer, right? And I don't have any blueberries in my juice. I don't have juice. I got blueberries in my fridge. But anyway, so what I'm saying is like, I am like, so I'm not a closer. So what I do is, and here's the reason why I'm not a closer. Because if you got to close people to join you, if you got to convince people to join you, if you got to do your little techniques for people to be like, yeah, man, I want to join you. You know what ends up happening is like, you got to convince them to stay. You got to keep closing them every week as to why they should stay. You got to keep selling them on the dream so that they stay. So what I do is I let people make decisions on their own. I don't ask for a yes or a no. I reach out to people and I'm like, hey, this is a quick update. This is what I'm up to. Whether they say yes or no, I don't care. I don't even ask them to take a look at information. I just give them an update of what I'm up to. Couple weeks goes by, I send them another update. Hey man, that thing I told you about, I just lost 11 pounds. I feel amazing. I made a comma in my check this week on my spare time. Feeling great. Just wanted to give you a quick update. 2 weeks goes by. Hey, what's going on, Bob? Just wanted to give you a quick update. I'm actually here in New York right now. By the way, I'm not. I'm in Utah, but hey, I'm in New York, and I'm excited, man. We hit the highest ranking of our compensation plan this month, and things are looking right for our future. How are you? Give you an update. By the way, sometimes an update is as simple as going to like and comment on that person's post, right? So so simplify the process for yourself, because a lot of you guys are asking like, well, what do I say, and who do I talk to, and what do I do, and where do I go? Simplify it. And the reason why I had to simplify it, guys, is because let me tell you the kind of personality I am. I'm the kind of personality that if you bring me a chair that I got it put together with instructions of exactly what to do, like I won't read it. Like it gives me a headache. I'll faint. I'll be like, dude, I can't put this chair together. I'll try to stick the stuff together, try to make a chair. It won't happen. Like I don't read instructions. I like simplicity. Like I like it so simple. So I learned the update technique, and I just say, hey, listen, let me give you a quick update. One of my friends, Carissa, she just got started with us, and her team just grew to like 300 people in the last 7 days. It's crazy. There's momentum happening here. What's going on with you? Give me an update on your end. When they are ready to join you, they'll tell you. And this is what I'm saying, where the faster you move on with people, the faster they start chasing you. What happens to most people in network marketing is like they talk to 3 people and then they beg them for the next like 3 years. Please join my business. Please join my business. Please join my business. And it's like, it's not going to work, right? Because now they know you're desperate. And so that's why I got focused on growing a big database. I'm not dependent on one person. I don't care even who's on my team. I value who's on my team, but I also realize that I'm not in control of their actions. I'm in control of my own. So for me, it's about the next leader I'm launching, the next customer I'm acquiring. It's the next conference call I'm doing. It's the next Zoom conference I'm hosting. It's always about my personal production for myself, because I know that productivity is up to you. You're not there to tell your team what to do. Hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. But no, like that's only you. Like handle yourself. Let your team see your example. That's when they're gonna follow, right? So I'm big on updates, guys. That's how I run my business. So anyways, if you liked this Facebook Live, I would appreciate it if you dropped a few emojis in the comments. I don't know what emojis, just drop some emojis. And I want you to share this video if you caught some value on it. I appreciate you guys holding on and being on this long. I'm excited. I think 2020 can be anyone's biggest year in network marketing if you focus on the things I just talked about. I promise you. Like it's that simple. It's not that hard. So anyways, guys, thanks so much. I'm off to see Times Square, the kitchen. We'll see you guys soon.